it gets overwhelming listening to all the different advice about how to achieve your goals, how to do what you want to do. I'm going to give you something so simple, so easy to do that it works every single time, and you're going to kick yourself that you didn't think of it already. And real quick, before we get started, I just want to say thanks. I've had a lot of new subscribers to my channel. There's a lot of new subscribers, a lot of people watching, and for those who don't know my background, who haven't seen my other videos, I'm 45. I've got 4 kids. I'm married. I've been running my business for almost 20 years. So everything I talk about on my channel is stuff I've done, stuff that I find that works. I come from a very humble background, so everything I've accomplished, everything I've done all the trial and error. Most of it's been error, but what I've learned is what I talk about on this channel. So whatever I talk about is stuff that I've figured out. Sometimes I read stuff and then I'll apply it and I'll say, well, this is junk, but this will work. So and what I find too, before we get started, I'm a very avid reader, and I've read, I mean, countless number of books, and like all the books you see like on the bestseller list, like the popular books. I can tell you this: a lot of it is fluff. A lot of it is. I hate to use the word garbage, but fluff is probably a better word, because a lot of times people are trying to fill books. People are trying to fill their channel um, with stuff, to make videos, to write books, to make content. So they will talk about stuff that they haven't done, or stuff that they've heard other people talk about, or the popular thing. Like, for example, and I won't get into this, but like, well, you got to get up at 5 a.m. if you want to be successful. It's junk. Now, if it works for you, it works for you. But that's when you hear that, run. That doesn't work. A lot of the most successful people I know get up at normal times, but then they work through the day and they work through the night. So getting up at 4 a.m. is not the answer. Maybe that works for you, or maybe that works for some people. But when you hear people, my point is when you hear, there's certain things that people start rehashing because they hear that and they think that's the popular thing to do. So everything I talk about is stuff that I've done, that I find that works for me, and I'll tell you the stuff that doesn't work. But what ultimately what works? Okay, like you'll take, like, for example, I'll tell you when I was started my business, and this applies perfectly. And what I would say is, a lot of times when I started my business, I just got on the phone and I started cold calling. Okay, and a lot of times, and what I'm talking about, the what I'm saying to use is, because this video is going to be short and sweet, is to just do something and start right now. Just get going. Just do something. You say, well, that's too simple. That's too simple. No, no, no. There's a second part to that. People want to plan too much. Now, planning is not bad. It's got its place. But here's my point. For example, when I started my business, um, a lot of people would say, well, I got to plan for a month, and I got to think about how I'm going to get customers, and I got to think about how I'm going to reach companies, and I got to think about how I'm going to market my product. What I did when I started, and this is mostly out of necessity, it's not because I was like so smart or anything like that. It was out of necessity. I needed money right away. My wife now, but my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, she was pregnant. I had no money. I had, in my house was lawn furniture. That's what I used as furniture. So I'm like, okay, I need some money. My girlfriend's pregnant. I got no health insurance. Like, I got to get moving, right? So what I did is I grabbed, like, this is no joke. I grabbed, some of you might be too young to remember this, but back in the day we had phone books, which were about this thick, and they were like, I don't know, a couple thousand pages, and it was every local business in your area. So it'd be like in my area, it would be Macomb County, and it would be like all of Macomb County, or all of Sterling Heights, or whatever city you're in. It might be just your city or your county. I forgot how it was. All I did is I picked up one of those yellow pages, I opened it up, and I started calling. I started cold calling these businesses. And you say, oh, that's crazy. So I would pitch them, and it was a simple pitch. It was just say, hey, my name is Paul. This is my product that I'm offering. I can get you a better price if you're buying from one of these big places. Are you interested? Now, a lot of people said no. No, I'm not interested. It's fine. But guess what? In that first week, I picked up a couple new customers, like people who became customers, like some right on the spot there, and a few that I followed up with and became customers. But this is the thing: once I started making calls and seeing what people respond to, see what people want to, what people were interested in, what people what their problems were, what their needs were, because I had a basic idea what I thought would work, but once I actually started talking to people, then I got a better idea. So then at that point, then I said, okay, well now I gotta think a little more. I didn't even say I want to say strategically, but I can tell you back in the day I did not use that word. But I started maybe thinking a little bit more. Okay, well I'm going to plan a little bit more. I'm going to plan a little bit better. But getting started, a lot of times we take too long. We want to make business cards and we want to make a strategy and we want to make marketing materials, because once you actually start talking to people, all that stuff you spend a month doing is going to go in the trash anyways, because stuff you thought was important is not important to the customer. When you say, oh, I'm the best person in town for this product, your customer doesn't care, or your potential customer. They want to know that they can get it the next day. That's what they care about. So then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, that's what should be in my marketing material. So that's why it's so important to just get started. For example, I train in karate. I've been doing it for a long time now. Now, if you want to train, let's say you're out of shape or you're young, you say, hey, I want to get in shape. For me, I was like skinny and small and weak, and I'm like, all right, I want to get strong, because and there's actually a backstory to that, somewhat funny, it's kind of goofy, but I'll tell in a different video, because real quick, we're gonna wrap up. Well, actually, we'll wrap up on this story. A lot of times, like if we want to train, we start looking into like different workout plans or different what's the best, is jiu-jitsu best or is karate best, and this is what always drives me crazy. You'll talk to people and say, oh no, jiu-jitsu is the best, oh jiu-jitsu will beat any karate, blah blah blah. You'll talk to karate people, well no, karate's the best because of this or that. Or you'll talk to wrestlers, or any training's good, okay? Training is better than no training. But here's my point. So instead of like trying to research all this stuff, talking to all these people about different styles and what's the best style, and whatever, do this: go drive down your street wherever you live, and I would almost assure you that there's some type of whether it's a karate studio, like karate and Brazilian jiu-jitsu are probably the biggest ones right now. So there, I always see like karate, jiu-jitsu. There's another one, what is it, Krav Maga. And I know I'm saying that wrong. I should know that, because there's one right by my house, and I looked into that one, but I didn't go there. But those are like the basic styles. But there's like karate training, martial arts places all over the place. Just go park your car and walk into one. And I almost 100% assure you, probably 9 out of 10 or 99 out of 100, well, you'll walk in there and you'll say, I've never trained before, I'm interested in training. And what they'll almost definitely tell you is, hey, we got classes on Tuesday, pop in, come to one of our classes, see if you like it. Now, if they hard sell you and they try to like get you to sign up right on the spot, get the hell out of there. But most likely they'll say, hey, come to one of our classes, see if you like it or not. Go to the class. If you're training the class and you're not vibing with the instructors, or you don't like their style, or you think, hey, you know what, these guys actually are not as tough as I thought they would be, or maybe they're too tough, or whatever it might be, you're just not vibing with them, then you get up and you say, you know what, I'm not interested, thank you, I appreciate it, and you go to a different one and see what works. Or maybe it works and you say, you know what, I'm going to stay here, and you sign up. My point is to just go do it. Don't spend so much time thinking about stuff and planning stuff, because most of those plans before you get started are going in the garbage anyways, because it's never, things are never what you think they're going to be until you get going in them, if that makes sense. Like whatever you think, if you're not in business yet, whatever you think of business, it's probably nothing like what you think. So once you actually start, it's very different than what you imagine. So your plans, if you're starting right here, this is the start of your business, your planning here before you start is going to be very different from your planning once you start, because you're going to see things very, very differently. So that's my point. Just whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is, just do it now. And then like all the planning, all the intricate stuff, all the detailed stuff, you could do that later. And I'm not saying it doesn't have its place or that you shouldn't do it, but to start, just get started right away. I can tell you that's worked for me for the last you know, 20 some years, and I can tell you that they'll work for you too, but just get started now.